Hello, everybody, and welcome back to game number 3 of our St. Clair Saints Overwatch action in the NECC playoffs. And, St. Clair down 2-0. It's definitely been a pretty competitive series for both sides. But I really think St. Clair are going to have to step up here in game number 3 to try and start this reverse sweep out on the right foot.
Absolutely. The scoreline doesn't do it justice in regards to how close the game has been, but that being said, Bryant and Stratton just been able to constantly find themselves in the better position to close things out. Of course, game 1, rather back and forth. Game 2, back and forth as well, but the Saints' attack was just a little bit slower to the point where they had no time in the bank for some overtime rounds. BSC did, and they just had to get the one tick at the end, and they absolutely did. And now we find ourselves on one of the most volatile maps, on one of the most volatile modes, of course, to Capture Point Volskaya Industries.
Yeah, I really feel like this is one of those really good defensive maps. I think that second point is arguably one of the hardest.
It's a nightmare.
One of the hardest points to take in all of Overwatch. It is so close to that defensive spawn. It's so easy to delay that one out. And really, this first point, if you can get a decent advantage, it's a very long walk to get back to it for the defenders. You can take it pretty early on, but that second point, it's just a nightmare.
Yeah, the big nightmare for Bryant Stratton, as they're going to be starting off on the attacking side, is usually the Archway. However, Available is opting for the Tracer, going to be playing more of that flanky DPS instead of the Mei, which could just straight up ice wall right on that Archway. But to be fair, Cyber being on the Wrecking Ball would have just not cared about your ice wall anyway, so probably a smart pick on the side of St. Clair.
Yeah, and I really like today how much we've seen Apostle playing this Wrecking Ball. We typically see him on the main tank, and to be fair, he's played a lot of Reinhardt today, but I've seen him so much on this Wrecking Ball. It's a very different style for him to play, and I really think it's done well for him. I think he's had some pretty good pop-offs, gotten a lot of good picks on the back line, and served him pretty well so far.
And Saints kind of put themselves in a very awkward position, though. Mixture between the open area and inside the building. Nobody can really support each other here, and it's looking like Everlong and Slater are going to start things off strong for the side of BSC.
BSC find 2 picks. They pick up a third onto G-Scales as well. The main tank's down now for St. Clair. It does mean they will be cleared off this point. They do get 3 ticks, though. Bryant and Stratton going to be taking pretty well advantage of St. Clair here. They're going to clean it up, and we're going to be moving to point number 2 here very early on. 6 minutes still for Bryant and Stratton.
And absolutely clean stuff coming out from BSC. Split the Saints and just absolutely pick them off like one at a time. And then, like you're saying prior to the attack happening, if the Saints on defense happen to fall, that's a long walk. Yeah. And at that point, this first one was going down. But of course, like we were also mentioning for the attack, this next point coming up here, this being so close to the spawn, is going to be so difficult for Bryant and Stratton to get captured unless they can do a complete team wipe.
They do have a couple ults available here. Both Transcendences available for both sides. That's going to be a Bob out very early, as well as both Transcendences. So a lot of invulnerability here on point for the second here. So Bob not going to be too effective to start us off here. They will get 1 tick already, though. And that's going to be pretty decent progress here to start us off. Arjan going to get a nice headshot on the Everlong, though. Does mean the point will be turned in their favor. They will get 2 ticks, and then meanwhile, Self-Destruct going to come out, see if he can catch anyone here. No, not going to catch anyone. Everlong still no ult usage here. Is decided to hold it for the moment. So St. Clair will clear them off point, but it costs them 2 ticks. So this is going to be really tough to defend.
This is an absolutely brutal one. That attack from Bryant Stratton was just absolutely on point. Once again, just taking them down one by one, finding some small combos here and there, and able to finish the job with 2 ticks. You just need like one somewhat decent fight, and they're starting it right now here with OBL.
Oh, that flux was massive. It caught 3 people there. Apostle down to 70 will be taken out here in just a second here. Set going to find a couple picks as well. G-Scale's the last one alive, will be cleaned up off this point here. Can they get back on it? Slater going to take out Cheesy before he can even get anything stopped, and that's going to be 4:16 left for Bryant and Stratton on this one. St. Clair has that work cut out for them.
That is a remarkable time there from Bryant and Stratton. They are absolutely trying to speedrun this one with the way that one turned out. Just unfortunately here for St. Clair, I don't know how you even like break that one down on the fly. It just felt like they were never fighting as a cohesive unit, that they were always split up, and then OBL and the rest of the side of BSC have just been so strong at finding opportunities to punish those who aren't grouped up. And that triple flux there was absolutely critical as well there. OBL showing the amount of damage you can still do from the off-tank roll. To be fair, though, we did see G-Scales popping off a little bit on King's Row, but just the consistency right now here from OBL is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, and I think the key there was you separated the healers. It was just the 2 DPS and the 2 tanks over there, and OBL able to catch all of them with that flux was absolutely massive. Definitely the play of this game so far. But, I mean, St. Clair, a lot of times still here it is. You have your attacking half still available to you. And if you can get an advantage early, we saw there really what it was Bryant and Stratton got that first point very, very early, and they had the ult available, right? So if you can spread out your ults, you can just keep forcing St. Clair to go on to that point. You can never get them all grouped together all at once, and they won't have ults available at the same time. So that was the difference makers. The fact that they got that attacking ground so quickly, they rolled into the second point, and St. Clair just didn't have any ults available to stop it or even slow it down and give them a chance to breathe.
Absolutely. Now taking a look at the team comps for this time by, looks like the Saints, they want to dive, but at the same time, Bryant Stratton, they are completely okay with returning to dive on top of you even. As we see Cyber already charging in on the Saints.
Slater swapped over to the Soldier here. Very interesting pick. Haven't seen that at all today, and that's going to be Cheesy on the Sombra. So a couple of different choices here for the DPS. DPS have seen a lot of different heroes today.
It's nice to see, to be honest. Because, yeah, usually from metas like we're used to before, it's always the same thing over and over again. But it's nice that things are actually map-specific, you know, like the way that Overwatch was meant to be played.
Yeah, Apostle going to get an early pick here, but Arjun going to be traded out here in just a second. That will be OBS stuck in this corner underneath the hood, trying to get out here. Going to do a decent amount of damage before he ends up getting demeched here, but he will go down eventually anyway. Or he will get picked off. No, he's actually still staying alive somehow on this point. Apostle looking for some picks on the outside. G-Scale's going to take down OBL in the end, though, but will end up forcing out the DMAC here. Still alive, going to get some decent chip damage. Ooh, Bomb not going to make contact, though. Is taking this 1v1 with the DPS and is actually winning. The sleep going to come down on Apostle in the backside here. Going to take a nap. Hamster going to be sitting in his ball, taking a nap here for the moment. Everlong going to find Yubel in the meantime, but Cheesy has an answer back onto the Tracer. And, I mean, a lot of fighting, and it seems like St. Clair winning it for now, but they finally get some progress on this point. So, yes, they did end up winning the fight, but Bryant and Stratton actually could lead that for a very long time.
He really did there. We saw Set from the inside of the building just trying to keep OBL alive, shot after shot, but eventually the shots did end up getting blocked, did end up going down. It was like a slow descent there for the side of BSC. That being said, though, still another last-ditch effort coming out here from OBL, but looks like they are going to end up giving this one over. And just a little bit of position, just going to just send it into the point to get a quick respawn. But Everlong going down, but not without a fight.
There are a lot of ults available now, though. We see Arjun going to have his available in just a second. G-Scales just wants to remech here for the respawn because he is going to have that ultimate available. And 6 ults for the side of St. Clair, all of them ready. We are going to see Bryant and Stratton almost 6 ults available. Just Everlong.
Brutal.
Everlong not going to have his, but he will get some chip damage here before the point starts up, and he will have that. So this is going to be a mess.
Oh, yeah. Good luck, Observer. Here we go. The engagement hops on in here, right on the high ground, too, as if it couldn't be any messier.
They're pressing every single ultimate button in the game, and St. Clair going to come out on top with their own. Babel going to get the pick. Stick coming through on the Diva, not going to do very much. G-Scales going to find Set with the self-destruct as well. They will get some progress here, but after all the ults blown, still nothing being made. They get 1 tick to start us off. Self-destruct to come through. Obel actually going to find Yubel there on point, so it will be a little bit of a slower push here, and they will eventually stop St. Clair from taking this one. So in the end, ults didn't really mean too much. Everlong going to find one, and Justice is going to find another. So yeah, they will defend it. St. Clair going to be forced to back up here and get off of this point.
Okay, yeah, so everybody just dumped everything, but to be fair, at least Saints got the 110. So
yeah,
1/3 of the battle already completed, but it's going to be another situation where even if they happen to get the full capture, they are going to be behind on time no matter what. We're already at the 3:45 mark, and we've seen BSC still sitting there with that 4:16. So they're going to have their work cut out for them on defense no matter what. But it's just a matter, is it going to be 1, 2, or like 3 more pushes for Saints to get this?
It's just funny watching Injustice walk around the back on there. He knows this Sombra is sitting somewhere back there, but doesn't know exactly where he is. Slayer actually going to go down here very early. Nice pick by Cheesy and Pulse teaming up to get that one. Everlong going to find Cheesy on the backside, though. Will be answered back. Tracer going down for the side of Bryant and Stratton here, so it will be a small advantage for St. Clair. For the moment, they're going to have to try and take advantage of this very, very soon. They do end up getting this 1 tick here in just a second. No, actually, they're going to get denied. There is still someone on this point. You're not quite there just yet. Slater and Everlong going to find picks of their own, and again, this point is so hard to take because the spawn is just so close.
Wow.
And they get, I mean, they got 2 picks, but it's so hard to convert it because if you're not immediately getting onto that point and converting it into into a tick, you're not really going to make any progress.
Yeah, you need to dive the point and then burst anybody who's there. And to be fair, unless the Saints roster has like ultimates available, they really can't burst anything that well unless it's Discord orbs by Arjunk. But of course, the Zenyatta is rather squishy, can be taken out of the fight at a moment's notice. That being said, another bloodbath right around the corner. Here we go, possible diving in.
Does have the ultimate available. Minefield going to come down, see what he can get here. Forcing set off of this one, but Liana will walk over to safety, jump off that ledge and survive. For the moment available, going to get taken out here early by Injustice. Slater going to find Apostle, and St. Clair going to be siphoned again here, not going to be able to push on the point and forced to back up. So again, a really, really quick defense there. And I mean, they go for an early pick, but it just doesn't pay off. And it does force St. Clair back here. They're going to get Arjunk and Evil very, very late. It does mean they'll have to wait for those spawns to come through. And they're kind of scattering St. Clair right now.
Yeah, and Cheesy's not even in like a super safe position as of right now either. Does actually end up escaping here, so not too bad in that right. But Bryant Stratton, they had that defense quite nicely without any ult usage.
EMP
like, at all.
And self-destruct is available here for St. Clair.
That
So
could
they're
be
going to be waiting for them to group up here. And they know they like to sit up on this ledge here. So I think Apostle going to go for a big slam. And then you send the EMP and the self-destruct and all at the same time. Try and get that combo to come through, because that's really going to be very effective for St. Clair if they manage to coordinate that properly.
Got so much in the hands of Cheesy, but he's been exposed right now. The shots did fire off on him. Some ultimates coming through, but when does he opt to go? That is going to be like the green flag for them to dive on in.
This is going to be a little bit of chip damage here on Apostle. Going to back up here, but Injustice and OBL going to get a few picks. And again, St. Clair just can't seem to get a foothold on this point. Will get picked off here and will be forced to reset here. And just under a minute left, they're going to have one last push before this is over.
And once again, BSC, I've been preaching it all day, but they've been splitting up the Saints so well that they can't actually get their group team fight composition to really even do anything. Like, Yubel popped up the rally. You need to be grouped for that rally to be effective, and they're going to just dive on the Saints.
Nano, Winston here going to start us off, and Everlong Slater going to find picks really, really early on. The DPS doing so well here with Bryant and Stratton. Just 30 seconds remaining. Apostle going to find Cyber, though, so an answer comes back. They are going to find Everlong as well, so Apostle doing a lot of the legwork here, trying to get an advantage back, but 24 seconds left. They're going to have to try and push this point. Available going to sneak around, look for that overtime. And again, you're going to have to find this EMP self-destruct combo in order to take this point, because if you don't land that perfectly, I really just don't think St. Clair can keep their playoff hopes alive.
And they have to actually follow up on this. Where is Cheesy right now? That is going to be the main man to watch in this situation. On points, ready to go, but he needs to let his team in. EMP comes out, but it doesn't get anybody.
And they don't even get the point. They don't get an overtime, and they don't get any more chances in this playoffs. That is going to be it. BSC take it, a 3-0 sweep, well fought by St. Clair, but BSC just the better team on the day.
Just the positioning and the amount of body blocking, the Stonewall style coming out from Bryant Stratton just in general, being able to like really making the tanks work and then just let everybody else go absolutely nuts. Honestly, like, very interesting play style. I loved what we saw out of Bryant Stratton. GG's all around. A well-fought match there for St. Clair, but the style that came out of Bryant Stratton was just different, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. And I gotta say, I think Babel had such a good game today. He had so many good picks with that trace to cause so much destruction in the back line. I think St. Clair had a pretty good game, but I really just think Brian and Stratton came in with the game plan, and we saw it especially on those last two games where they split up what St. Clair wanted to do, and they didn't allow those synergized ults to come through like they did in that first map. So I think really good game plan, really good coaching response, really good strategy by Bryant and Stratton to win this one. And I mean, for St. Clair, it is their last Overwatch league that they're in, I believe.
From what I understand, yeah, I believe you're correct.
So, yeah, that's going to be the last we're going to see of them this season. And, I mean, you want to talk about how you felt their season went and what they had to look forward to maybe in second semester.
I mean, it was definitely an interesting set of ups and downs. Of course, the roster shuffle midway through definitely didn't assist with anything, but giving the conditions, like having Yubel come in, joining the rest of the squad, and like figuring out, one, where exactly he fit in, because initially he was meant to be like a DPS main, but obviously like went on over to the support role. And to be fair, I feel like alongside of him and Arjunk, they paired up quite nicely, to be fair. And I think there is definitely going into this next semester, like, give them some more time together and they will flourish more. because I do think that the DPS combo of Available and Cheesy is still absolutely fantastic. You can tell the gears are turning with the plays they wanted to make, but just BSC did a very good job of stopping it. And with the tank line as well, like Apostle and G Scales, especially, like I was saying that G Scales for the most part had like a really quiet season, did what he needed to do, but like no real like major pop-offs. That game too, he was going absolutely nuts.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
then it's interesting seeing Apostle picking up something more than just Reinhardt. And like you can tell that there's something like strategically happening there. The gears are turning. Just give them more time. And I mean, there's going to be other seasons like going through the winter. So this may be all we see for Overwatch right now, but definitely not for the long term. We'll be back very shortly.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they still did relatively well in the season. They did end up placing 5th to 8th. And I mean, all respect to them, I think they played a really, really good series. And yes, it was a 3-0 sweep. But I think even in this game, even the last couple of weeks, you could see how much they've improved. And that map number 1 definitely could have gone their way. Just a couple of small mistakes made the difference. But again, all credit to the Bobcats. They played such a good series, played such refined Overwatch, especially in that second game and third game. And they just outclassed St. Clair in this one. They're moving forward in the NECC playoff bracket.
It was just so frustrating too, because you could even see like that last play there. Yeah. Like you could tell what they wanted to do. The Saints wanted to dive on in onto point, get all of BSC to come onto them, EMP.
Yeah.
The trap was there, but they got stuck. Just the tank line there from Bryant Stratton, just like a I don't know, like a linebacker almost of a football team, just constantly like pushing it to the side. Like, no, you're not going through this. You're not going towards the spot you want to go to. And it forced Cheesy to then come to them, which in turn gave up the point. And even if the EMP came off, it wasn't going to be as valuable as they were going to be hoping for. So, like, Bryant Stratton just, like you were saying, just outclassing just on another level. But I'm still happy to see, like, the strategies in mind there from St. Clair. Just a little bit more time. Next season.
Yeah, next season.
We'll come back with Fury.
So that is going to be it. St. Clair goes down 5th to 8th in the NECC playoff bracket. The Bobcats move on. Good luck to them in their future endeavors moving through this playoffs. We'll definitely be watching on the NECC channels to see how they do. But that is going to be it for us. Want to thank our sponsors, though, before we go. Specifically, Crunchyroll, the new sponsor we have this year. Definitely have been very thankful that they've come on board in the stream and have sponsored us. So you can get a 14-day premium trial for free at crunchyroll.com/saints. Go check it out. Essentially the Netflix of anime. For all your anime needs, go check them out, crunchyroll.com/saints. Want to thank all our other sponsors as well: Tim Hortons, Subway, the SRC, and the St. Clair College Alumni Association. Thank you all for contributing. And yeah, talk about the merch as well, I guess.
Well, of course, got to bring it up. We might not be wearing it right here today, but it doesn't mean it isn't.
I got the mask. I'm wearing it.
You've got the mask. Okay, it's never mind. I should speak for myself then, apparently. So, yeah, with the Saints merch, of course, the dark mode, as we've been referring to it as for the longest time, we've always been the white, green, and orange, but this black, green, yellow style has just been absolutely taken off.
It's cool.
You want to pick some up for yourself. Bunch of different types of apparel available down at acquire.ca/Saints. Place your order, get it in before Christmas while you can, and come help us support the Saints, as some of them still going through playoff seasons or going into the next new season coming up in the winter. Come support in style. Maybe even come support live in the arena eventually in new style. Of course, that's
going to be fun.
A little bit around the corner, February, March, possibly, from what I understand. So lots of exciting things coming up, and also still to come up here. We're technically not done with NECC playoffs. Valorant is happening next week on Monday, and then tomorrow we get to see our League of Legends team in action in NECC playoffs. The quarterfinals for that one as well, if I do recall correctly.
Yep.
And that is going to be up against Grandview JV, which is a team
that
we have beat before, but it was a bloodbath.
It was crazy. That was a crazy series. That's going to be fun.
Looking forward to seeing that one tomorrow. I think, from what I understand, you'll be on the mic with Josh Profundi, so it should be an exciting one nonetheless. Very, very quickly, I also do want to give a couple of thank yous as well. First off, John, thank you for commentating so much over the last couple of weeks.
It's been fun.
I'm glad you enjoy it, because we have definitely had some some hype moments and definitely some stomps. So
Yeah.
fair enough there. Also, big thank you to our observer Ashton for coming out and basically trying to be the one-man observer show regardless of which game it is as of late. So thank you, Ashton, for coming in and helping out. Big time there. And then, of course, to Jackson Deprived Brown, not in front of the mic or on the camera at this time. I said that backwards, but you know what I mean. But in the director's chair. So big thank you to him for running the show here for us tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be it, though. St. Clair will go down. We'll see League of Legends action tomorrow. You can catch at 6 p.m.
Yep.
And then Saturday, we're going to have, I believe at 12 it starts, we're going to have Call of Duty.
It's going to be a beautiful
and Rocket
mess.
League as well. So it's going to be a lot of playoff action. You're going to want to be here cheering your St. Clair Saints on and encouraging them. It is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Very competitive action. So, I mean, NECC Star League. First season of NECC Star League, so it's going to be interesting for sure. But that's going to be it for us today. Thank you all for joining us. Hope you have a wonderful night. John, Bill Bang, Sudima, Dan, Mr. Danner's Banner, and we'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. for some League of Legends action. Until then, stay safe and love each other. Doing quite a bit of damage with Doomfist coming out here as well, so a lot of changes across the board for both of these teams because, I mean, it is a very different map. They're playing Everlong, and they have the first pick on Apostle, though, and this could be a cascade for them to try and take this first point.
Yeah, they even had the Shatter on top of it, and that is going to seal the deal. Slater.
That's going to be a double tire kill available. He's going to find one, but there's a couple picks for Slater here. Stratton's going to come through for this tank here, and they will find him, so they will flip the point here in just a second. Self-truck going to come out there. Won't catch anyone, though, and that will be a point flips here as soon as this Doomfist gets taken down. But no, he finds another pick available, another double tire kill here. Evil going to get one as well. Still traded out, though. A lot of kills going across here for Bryant and Stratton. They're going to try and push onto this point here in just a second. It is now 2v2. Available going to get a decent amount of damage. This is going to be close. They will get the touch on point here in just a second. If Evil can touch it, will he get it? Yes, he will. They'll go to OT, but he's going to be able to clear the deal on that one. And this one we saw Slater delaying that point for so long. It robbed them of 30-40%. The fact that he was able to stay on there. And, I mean, game 3, I'm looking for one of these to step up, but that's going to be St. Clair already on this point and getting 3 early picks. Jeezy going to find another on the Slater, the Doomfist, beating out that Doomfist. That's going to be St. Clair.
Double main tank style. But for a little while there, we had both Winston and Reinhardt on the side of St. Clair. G-Scales, I've never really seen him play Winston. Did have an okay Primal Rage, but that's going to be a huge bunny shatter.
That's a huge shatter there. Stick going to find one as well, but Everlong with 2 kills on that.
We see right now BSC moving in for possibly a little bit of percent on that one.
Oh, Jeezy goes down there to Everlong, though. That is very, very dangerous. That's already going to be an ultimate here. A Blizzard coming out onto this point to try and stall it for a little bit here to keep everyone else off of that one. Apostle going to find one, but a couple of answers here for Bryant and Stratton. They're going to keep his team alive, and they will stop this push, at least for the moment.
Yeah, some desperation kind of coming out here from BSC, but that being said, they are finding themselves on the right side of kill feed as of right now. Cyber with another double.
They will clean up everybody here. Just a couple members of St. Clair left alive. That's going to be it taken down. They will have
right here as Apostle tries to dive on this net and is actually going to go down. Apostle to follow up, though. Or not be able to follow up.
They do find the trade there. It is going to be 5-5. Trade's going to come out across the board as well. 2 more can be found for both sides. A little bit of damage in this corridor here being put down. G-Scale's going to find Injustice as well, but Dynamite got bailable there. So from G-Scale's going to get Injustice as well. That looks like this Zenyatta will go down here in a second. A punch to the face from Apostle is going to take him out. Slater does find a pick, though. Finds another on the G-Scales, but he will finally going to clean him up here. Tank's going to be fighting in the back line. The heal's going to come through. That will be St. Clair again, pushing through here and able to get this out of the gateway. Make some forward progress. Pick did come through, so it definitely can be available. Transcendence going to be popped here early on by Set. Arjunk's still holding on to his Transcendence. Deadeye going to come through as well. A lot of ults being used just to try to stop this. 2.61 meters left, but Jeezy and Arjunk going to get the fix, and they will be able to force this one through in just a second.
Scrappy, but we do manage to get
G-Scales. It's going to be a double kill action for St. Clair. They will find 2. Zenyatta ult going to come through. Transcendence trying to stall at this point as long as possible. Just 2.19 meters left. G-Scales is going to find Slater in the back. They will get to Zenyatta as well. And that will be just trying to force everyone off the point. This Wrecking Ball going to be providing so much space. And there is so much time. There's no time left here on the map. They will get it.
One by one, finding some small combos here and there and able to finish the job with 2 ticks. You just need like one somewhat decent fight, and they're starting it right now here with OBL.
Oh, that flux was massive. It caught 3 people there. Apostle down to 70 will be taken out here in just a second here. Set gonna find a couple.
Really did there. We saw Set from the inside of the building just trying to keep OBL alive, shot after shot, but eventually the The shots did end up getting blocked, did end up going down. It was like a slow descent there for the side on BSC. That being said, though, still another last-ditch effort coming out here from OBL, but looks like they are going to end up giving this one over.
As well, they will get some progress here, but after all the ults blown, still nothing being made. They get one tick to start us off. Self-destruct to come through. Oval actually going to find Buble there on point, so it will be a little bit of a slower push here, and they will eventually stop St. Clair from taking this one. So in the end, ults didn't really need too much. Everyone in a combo in order to take this point, because if you don't land that perfectly, I really just don't think St. Clair can keep their playoff hopes alive.
And they have to actually follow up on this. Where is Cheesy right now? That is going to be the main man to watch in this situation. On points, ready to go, but he needs to let his team in. EMP comes out, but it doesn't get anybody.
And they don't even get the